Hello, all of you delightful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Raw Zim, and this is DevTales, where we're going to be working on our custom SCAR system, or Stories and Creatures in Alternate Realities. This system is available for open playtest on our Discord as well as itch.io. Go take a look at it, let us know what you think. For now, oh, right. Also, we've got Conrade down there in the bottom left working on some art. We have Placid Plastic Duck Simulator in the upper left because ducks. And yeah, now we'll get started. Okay, so first thing, welcome back. First things first, suggestions. Ah, yes. Yeah. Demons. Suggestion.
Yep.
Definitely not motivated by anything in particular. No way, no how.
Obviously not. You still with us, Tal?
Well, I'm still here.
Right.
Okay.
So, need rules for idea. Swallowed. Because let's be honest, the big monsters will eat things smaller than them, and players may want to eat enemies. Gee, I wonder who might be doing that and bringing that into my tabletop games. Restriction idea for swallowed. A creature may only eat another if it's at least two sizes larger than the target. Example, a large creature could eat small creatures.
Well, I am of the opinion that unless it's already like an established tabletop thing, we probably shouldn't be bringing kink things into our tabletop system as official things.
I will say
here's
there are
what?
some monsters in D&D and Pathfinder where they can actually swallow players. And
Yeah, but usually that just works off of the equivalency of suffocation rules.
No, Pathfinder and D&D actually have full-on rules for that in a lot of their variations as well as other games. The problem with it is that it's a monster-only rule. And the two size categories thing is literally a restriction they put in to try and keep it out of players' hands. So, because this is basically a carbon copy from the way that it works in 3.5 in Pathfinder 1E. So, the problem here is, other than it possibly being kink related, is that this would most likely have, if we put it in, we'd have to make it player accessible. Because the system's designed around things being player accessible as much as possible, correct?
I mean, there are absolutely things that are not player accessible.
A few things without DM content. The problem is that if we put it in, players are going to ask for it. If an ST wants to put it in, they can. We can make it a thing. It's just... It's, in my opinion, an all or nothing. And it sounds like Tal would prefer it to be a nothing.
I mean, at the very least, it really feels to me like either it should just work off of something like suffocation rules, or it needs to have like actual support, and if it goes towards actual support, it's going to be in a manner that is like pretty explicitly kinky if there is quote intended rules for allowing players who just go around swallowing enemies. Which, if people want to do that, like, yeah, sure, but that feels like something that should be more like the storyteller allows them to go and do, rather than it being something that we should like explicitly bake into the rule set.
The what thing, Mala?
As Mala proves me right by me being against this, apparently.
Oh, that. I'm not explaining that.
If it's something about you healing from having something in your belly, no. We will not do that. Hard
Reverse.
No. Okay, I guess DM me what that means, because I have no idea.
Mala down. Well, Meryl already got it.
But
Oh,
yeah,
that. Yes. No.
in my opinion, one of the best ways where we could handle something like that is just like make a feat that when you grapple someone, you get to start suffocating them. And if they decide to flavor that as vor and the storyteller agrees, that is an entirely different thing. That's on them, as compared to it being a reasonable feat upgrade for grappling, which, very realistically, a lot of times when you grapple someone, you start choking them out as well in a fight. But there being explicit rules for going around and eating people feels like, personally, I don't really care that much, but I feel like it'd be a bad move towards making this be generally accessible instead of it being seen as niche furry garbage.
I mean, we got a little bit of that in there already. But
yeah,
I disagree about the all or nothing idea. I think that we can put rules in for this. Just keep it basic and to the point.
I will agree with Tal's feet equals choking thing as something that we could do, because grappling doesn't really have too much feet support.
I'm not sure about making a feat for this. I'm thinking just putting general rules for how being eaten would work. Probably in the adventure chapter. And basically, every turn you're in there, you're taking damage. Just guaranteed damage, bypass integrity, because it's environmental. But not restrained. Probably suffocation rules as well. but you're not restrained, so you can continue attacking them from inside, and they'll be considered as, you know, no evasion, because they can't evade you. But if people want to do that, I mean, serious risks involved. Jits, we already have very good suffocation and grappling rules. Or at least I think they're very good.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said that, like, we could just have it basically just do suffocation rules. And it already kind of works for that. Because, like, that's already kind of how suffocation works, except that there's, like, you know, the hold your breath before you start taking damage thing.
Well, like I said, I think it would be a footnote more than anything, and just, I think that those rules make sense for it. I don't know what that last word is, Vari, but yes.
Hi, Vari. Cosmo cute.
Cosmo cute.
But anyways, any disagreements on what I suggested there?
So long as it's footnotey, I don't think it'll be a problem.
Yeah, just
Yes.
a section that just goes into this is what happens if you wind up in that situation.
Yeah, because there's a difference between that and, like, making a feat that lets you go around trying to swallow things.
Yeah, I don't...
Because if you're making a feat for it, that's bringing attention to it as, like, a specific thing.
Exactly. This will just be a paragraph in the in the chapter there. Like, I'll probably put it under the surviving the world section. Just the little section in there describing what happens.
Yep.
And technically it'll be available to everyone.
Yep. Except for most people, you need to go and find, like, actual pixies or something for it, you know?
Well, yeah, because size is a problem, but yeah. Putting in the nukes. Do we want it to be 0 evasion or just the one that is eaten has bypass accuracy on everything?
0 evasion, that way they could still crit.
Okay.
And it still brings them open to botching.
True.
Which, you know, if you do that, it might be like the equivalency of dropping your weapon and not being able to find it, because it isn't like you'd have light in there. So, you know, there's legitimate consequences you could put in for botching in that situation.
Alright, I put in the notes. What do you guys think of that?
Let me find where you are, because I'm in a different spot.
That would work.
Sure.
That is the next one from Geemond is something for key. From Lightpaw, a short full rest session restart button for the sheet would be handy for resetting boosts, etc. I don't think that's even possible, is it?
But it's a pain in the arse.
Technically, and it wouldn't work like people are thinking.
Yeah.
I can set something up that would reset all of that, but it would also introduce a lot of dumb bullshit they'd have to do on the sheet, like not checking the checkboxes themselves.
Okay.
You'd have to like fill in a separate box, and then it would automatically do all that, and then there'd be a different button that could hit that would reset the fill in box to 0. It'd be a fucking mess.
We're just going to say technical limitations do not make this possible.
At least for the Google Sheets version.
At least for that. From Key. Taya's suggestion during NG.
New game.
New game.
So this is.
Oh wait, no, it was 9 gates.
Ah.
That's what I think he's referring to. Anyways, change cautionary step to be a quick action by default, but it requires the quick step feat to not trigger an AOO. I mean, requiring the quick step feat the quick step feat, you know, not triggering an AOO is there. Okay, backing up. Kind of makes cautionary step useless to me. Like, sure, you could move 5 feet, but without the quick step, it does mean that you're...
I think the suggestion was the quick step feat makes it into a quick action.
No.
No?
The quick step feat... No, it's changing it to always be a quick action, but it loses the doesn't trigger an AOO feat part of it until you pick up the quick step feat. So you could do a quick action to move 5 feet regardless, but it doesn't prevent AOs until you pick up the feat. And they're saying this because what happened was, for context, they have a two-handed weapon. They have a heavy weapon. They were 10 feet away from the target. They wanted to get 5 feet closer, but didn't have the quick step feat, and found out that taking a 5-foot step was a standard action without it, and argued that it should be you take the quick step as a thing, and then the feat upgrades it rather than the other way around.
Originally,
So instead of replace, but
originally, Taya's suggestion was that it should just be a thing you can just do. The 5-foot step. But yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying what it ended up at. For this suggestion in particular. Of which, I'm still in favor of us putting in a reposition move trait. I mentioned it a couple times. I haven't done it that often, but still in favor of it.
a reposition move trait?
Don't we already have one?
We have ones, kind of.
I think we have swap, push, and something else, right?
We have swap,
yeah.
push, knockback. We don't have one, and I've been advocating it occasionally every once in a while, for it just being some XP, and it lets you reposition a little bit as a part of the action. Because we have stuff like Blink, which lets you, as a part of it, move and blink towards an opponent having charge now, but we don't have one for doing something like that normally. But I still feel like we should.
Reposition would just
obviously
be a 5-foot step as part of a move or part of the move or what have you.
Well, yeah, or you could just keep like piling on purchases of it, so that way you can yeet yourself with a move a bit and be able to move fast as a part of it. But that's obviously taking up a bunch of XP cap. Because, you know, we already have that a bit with stuff like Blink, because that's short range. So you can Blink and put that on a full action. And as a part of your full action, you still move like 30 feet forward to where you want to be in order to, you know, hit the enemy really hard with the full action still. But we don't have a version of that for non-teleporty stuff.
Okay, so I guess let's go ahead and shift focus for a moment here.
Yep.
I've been actually using Blink. I've been feeling like it's either too expensive or we need to drop the -1 or the weakness from it. Because 18 XP with that drawback is not feeling great.
I gotta go look at it again because I don't use it right now.
Yeah.
Attacks that are coming in at you have -1 difficulty on accuracy and power.
Basically, it counts as you having charged. It gives you the negatives of charge. Which, That's kind of because originally this wasn't supposed to be a general reposition trait. This was supposed to be more of a this was supposed to be more of something that you do to get around like reach attack of opportunities and stuff like that when going in for a melee attack. But then it's kind of just been used as a generalized reposition trait because we don't have good versions of that. So instead, you just kind of have to blink around and eat the negatives.
Yeah. I'm thinking just remove the negatives on this and otherwise leave it be.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. It is still also leaving you open to getting absolutely ruined by telesense. So if you don't want to get blinked on, there is a feat to pick up to stop people from just blinking on you.
Well, I think, if I recall, telesense is specifically if they're already next to you to keep them from blinking away or teleporting away, but yeah.
No, it's not.
Was it also if they are coming in?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, with that especially, I say we just get rid of that.
Quote, this also includes if they are teleporting into your threat range and would otherwise trigger an AOO as such. So if they use it to, like, get past having been AOO'd as a part of a movement, then, you know, oops, you get AOO'd anyway.
Alright, well, let's remove the negative on this then. I'll just put that right in the document, because that's all I gotta do.
Yep. Which is especially fine, because, yeah, you know what, now we actually do have counterplay for it. Because part of the reason we had that negative on there for the longest time was also because there was no counterplay. It was just, I teleport on top of you, you do nothing. Now there's stuff, there's interaction, so it can not have that negative.
Alright, so now that we've got that straightened out, because I figured that figure out what we have right now, so that way we've got a better idea of how we want it to work in general for when the next, or for this one, you know?
Yep.
So, I'm okay with putting in a relocate move trait. The question is how we want it to work. Because it's especially useful for those with full actions that would not be able to actually make a movement because of it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 12 XP, they may move up to their, I would say half their movement range. But if they have the quick step feat, then they may move only 5 feet and not provoke AOO with this. Sound good? Or...
say that again, I'm sorry.
They may move up to, I'm thinking 12 XP, they move up to half their movement range. It will still provoke AOO. Actually, maybe 10 XP. But anyways, up to half their movement range, or movement speed. And if they have the quick step feat, they may only move 5 feet and not provoke AOO.
So basically, 10 XP. As just a part of the move now, they get to move half their movement speed, whatever it is currently.
Correct.
And then as a replacement effect, if they have quick step, they may elect to, as a replacement effect, instead of doing that, do a quick step as a part of it.
Yes.
All right, follow-up question. They would be able to take this by itself, wouldn't they?
Yeah. If it's a move trait, you can just stick it by itself.
Yeah, you could have a move that just lets you do that.
So that way you could do this as a quick action, and as a quick action, move half your movement speed.
Yeah.
That could be abusable.
It could, but it doesn't count as forced movement, and it doesn't let you bypass the AOO unless you're doing the quick step version, at which case you're doing a quick step. And it doesn't grant the entire thing AOO immunity, just the 5-foot step immunity. So, like, if you slap this shit on a ranged move, and you take the 5-foot step, it doesn't give the entire action AOO immunity, just the fact that you moved. I'm gonna double check one thing. Real quick. Where is initiative?
Oh yeah, we do have a movement thing with Primeval
Yep.
Initiative.
Get out of dodge. Using 15 of your initiative standing, you may use a movement maneuver between two combatants' turns. That is the only real thing that lets you move suddenly that I think we have in the entire game right now.
Leadership
Fleet Ball lets
also.
you get... Oh, leadership also. Oh, yeah, we just added that.
Yeah, movement, or move it.
Yeah, which that you're able to activate, like, for the receiver as a reaction, right? Yeah, quick action or reaction. And it's the full movement, I think. Yeah, it's full movement.
Full movement if it's a quick action, half if it's reaction.
Yeah, which is better than what we'd be offering as a part of this because it's quick action for half.
Which this also is, you know. The other options take quite a bit more investment.
Yeah. But this is mathematically checking things in line with the other very few I get to move now effects. Do we even have any in feats? Because I don't even know if we have any in feats.
Not that I'm aware of.
Because Flyby just lets you do the without provoking AOO for your target.
There is tracing the constellations.
Yeah, but that's a standard action. Or as a part of a movement action, I think. I have to double check. I use this. I should know this. Where are you at? There you're at. Yeah, it just gives you some additional movement speed and then allows you to use the movement maneuver. Which means that you can also use movement sub-maneuvers. But it literally the only thing it does is it gives you some extra movement speed, and it makes a movement count as a teleport with restriction. But it doesn't let you just do it. The only other stuff that lets you do that kind of stuff is teleportation. And I don't think I need to bring up to you how far you can move with a quick action if you just go down primeval teleportation and upgrade it.
It's a lot of experience to do it. But
oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying that like this isn't what you'd be doing if you want to just move around the battlefield as much as possible for as cheap as possible.
Yeah.
This is like, pretty in line with low costs if we keep it between like 10 to 15 XP somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Because like honestly, like I'd be pretty fine putting it more around like 15. That way, at character creation, it could also just be a quick action thing by itself.
I mean, I'm still leaning towards the 10, personally. Just because, we've got Blink at 18. So, Blink allows more range and prevents AOO outside of, specifically Telesense. So that's why I say let's put it at 10.
That's fair. This does kind of scale a bit more if you actually go down being fast, but yeah. That requires you actually go down being fast.
Yeah. And Foxfiend, hello. Good to see you.
Yeah, pat the fox. But yeah, because it's like you are able to get your passive movement speed up to truly egregious levels if you go down all of the movement speed increasers.
Yeah, but again, like you said, that requires you to spend a lot of XP for it.
And yeah, you're spending XP and you're getting your speed stat change up and like, hunting all that sort of shit down. And it's like, all right, yeah. At that point, you could maybe do a quick action to like just fucking nume around the battlefield. But at that point, that's what your character does. So like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Fetch, I see your false statement, and I raise you this.
Fetch is very cute.
Merle is cute.
Merle is also
cute. Fetch.
Hey, Fetch, do you agree with the statement Vetterly is betterly? I just wanted to know. I want to know if you're a Vetterly is betterly kind of person.
These are words you're using, yes.
It's a Hunt Showdown thing. It's a game I like and that I know Fetch likes.
Fair enough.
Also, apparently, yes, he does believe that Vetterly is betterly. But yeah, so the relocate 10 XP. I think I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm putting it in the notes.
At Pat the Gabby.
Dare a Gabby. Ate a cookie.
Gabby cute. By the way, I love our habit of looking at a suggestion, taking a 90-degree turn, and then taking another one in order to do a parallel thing to it that functionally fits the niche, but it does not at all do what the exact suggestion is in any way.
Yeah.
I mean, in this particular case, I'm not exactly against letting people do a 5-foot step with AOO as a quick action, personally. Because they're basically just doing something... Well, they're basically just opening themselves up for me to swing at them as an ST more often.
Well, yeah, but at that point, that's kind of like a, hey, can I do that sort of question, rather than a,
Yeah.
needs to be uncodified thing.
All right. Got that taken care of. Also, that needs to be added to the weapon traits as well.
Yeah. That's going right in the EXP. As a tactical trait, because
Yep.
it's the only place it fits. I'll bet everything to it and call it locate. And instead of writing this shit myself, I am just going to copy paste. Because I am a hack.
Copy pasta.
And next up, a feat suggestion from Key. Immutable. Requires Soul 4. Conditions and stat changes, both positive and negative, are a +1 difficulty to affect you. You are always counted as resisting conditions and stat changes, including those you apply on yourself. Definitely an interesting one.
Yeah. I mean, you're giving up a lot in order to have that proc. Well, not proc, but like, you know, just have it be there.
The thought of somebody just screaming, "I am the way I am. You can't change me."
Not really against it, as is.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about if there's ways to like cheese this or cause problems. But it's a permanent passive effect. It includes ones that you're applying on yourself. Accessories don't get around it. The only thing that gets around this is boon items. And bane items. But, you know, storied items are the only way to get around this. And that's if that storied item happens to grant a stat change. Because that's the only thing that I can think of that permanently grants you a stat change as a passive. So yeah, if the only way to cheese something is through storied items, then I don't count that, because that really just doesn't count. In addition to that, yeah, I mean, like, I could definitely see the game plan with this sort of thing. It fits into a couple of builds that aren't exactly good, and it doesn't give any offensive buffs. It just makes it harder for condition builds, or I guess I should say status builds, to just no-sell you.
You take it when you just don't want to deal with it.
So, how long before I've got all of you in Wild Tradition shouting, I've got immutable?
We're too addicted to buffing. You don't got to worry about that one.
For the people that buff in the party, yes. I'm already kind of looking at the Elise sheet going, I don't want to be silenced again for at least a little bit.
Yeah, but if you don't want to get hit with that, there's a magic word for you. There's actually
yes, silent spell, I know.
No, well, there's a different one.
What's the other one?
Let me double check the name. I should know this. I wrote it, but I just don't. Resist affliction.
You have to precast that, though.
Yep. But if you don't want to get hit with it, you can just turn 1 resist affliction.
Possibly. We're about to enter a long rest, and I gotta change up some of my words anyways, because there's ones on my list I don't use, but that's a side note.
Yep.
So, yeah, I guess that feat is just kind of a straight pass.
Yep. I mean, also having a Soul 4 requirement is interesting, because it requires that you have a decent Soul stat. So you can't just be, like, Barbarian going around with, like, massive secondary stats and all that, and then pick this up. Like, you have to actually be decent at using conditions and stat changes for this feat to be available to you, which makes sense considering it's a defensive flavoring of it.
All right, let's add it. I'm just going to put it in the notes.
Yeah. My goodness, sorry. It seems I am slightly eepy.
We all are. Life drains the life out of you. Almost like there's
I don't know
no
why.
point.
I just want to listen. No, I just want to listen to Shaboom.
Turn on thing.
And with that, we are just about caught up with them, except for the massive amount of words that Blue Bat added today. But I think we should move to next thing now instead of going through that, because we've only got 10 minutes left of suggestions anyways.
Oh, sir.
Gotta go take my meds anyways, so Burb gonna take meds.
Gibcab, what the fuck did you just write?
Basically, he just wrote that trying to win harder, like if you're already winning more is worth less than, you know.
You're struggling to explain what the hell he means too.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about the best way to actually explain this in an intelligent manner instead of just going the equivalency of winning more when you're no diffing doesn't matter as much than getting no celled. And that's not an intelligent way of putting it. Like, winning more is great, but like having other capabilities so that way you just don't get hard countered or doing other shit is worth a lot more. I think that's a better way of putting it. Making it so that way you don't just get hard countered and you're a versatile character capable of doing many things is worth more than just going all in on one strat and only doing that. There we go. That's a better way of putting it.
Okay then.
Look,
Also,
just because usually I put things in a succinct and understandable manner does not mean that that's what my brain jumps to immediately.
also, Guru, everyone can help out with Scar. We have a suggestions channel for you all to just put whatever comes to mind in. I'm just waiting on Era to get back.
Yep, makes sense.
Oh, I think I just heard his tail move from the last time he visited. Like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, progress. Progress.
Ah.
I figured the natural break point was the best time to actually go and do that, so I wasn't leaving in the middle of the conversation again.
To go try and drag your tail closer to you more?
Look, that's impossible. There's just too much of it. I was talking about taking my meds.
Gib, if you've got a suggestion, go put it in the suggestions. Alright, let's see here. You know, I want to discuss my my crazy feat idea that I had. The reverse boost. I think it'd be interesting, especially for those that try to get as many boosts as possible.
Reverse boost? There it is.
Basically, they may do the opposite of a boost in order to get another boost die. So, you know.
Right, didn't we randomly discuss this at one point recently?
Yeah.
I don't think we actually confirmed if we were good with it or not. But yes, we did discuss it a little. But yeah, if you can do a reversed body boost and re-roll 3 successful non-exploding dice. You can re-roll 1 exploding die with soul, or make a 1 explode on an enemy with mind in order to replenish boost dice during the session. Like I put in there, they cannot go over their max session boost dice with this. This is just to replenish what they get per session.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't got any issues.
I don't know how many people will actually bother picking it up, but there's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, we could instead make it not a feat and just make it part of the base. Because that is a good point. I'm not sure if anybody would even bother picking it up, but making it an option.
Maybe it's like an optional rule.
Let's toss it as an optional rule, if we don't want it to be a feat. To put it on the table as something that people can take or add to the game. Because I guess my only worry I don't want to feat tax it, but the other worry is that only one person in the group will use it, kind of thing. Somebody with really good luck slowly looks at Tal.
Look, just because I'm always lucky. Even if it's sometimes lucky in a funny way, which is my normal goal anyway.
Well, there you go, Vari. You can just have it. And technically, you're not guaranteed to ruin the thing, because it is re-rolling. So you could just like with the boost, the regular boost system, you could just wind up with your, your 10 that you're re-rolling becoming another 10 again.
Yep. Also, one thing to keep in mind is that you're still going to have to put a restriction that you can't force this to happen if you're assisting on someone's roll.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh, yeah, we don't...
Because that's why I put very specific wording on, like, a lot of the boost stuff that we made. So that way, you can't troll your friends' rolls at times.
Also, the image of Vari trying to ruin a cake and somehow making the best cake ever is funny.
Look, all I'm gonna say is I'm just imagining, considering that now he is a fake court lady. I'm just imagining Osmond sending the group the Princess Peach meme letter of "Do not come to the castle. I've just absolutely fucked up the cake."
It may be mean to say this, but you can't screw somebody else's roll up with your boost dice sounds like a run rule. I want to name it the run rule.
No.
It's mean, though.
All right. I'm just throwing this in Scardev. I'm just imagining Osmond writing this after anti-boosting his entire cake into oblivion.
Isn't that specifically from the Super Mario Chaos thing? I'm pretty sure that is.
I don't think this one is from a specific... I think this is just a fucking Tumblr edit. This
It might
particular
be.
version of it, at least. Like the Princess Peach letter thing. I'm pretty sure it's just a Tumblr meme.
Alright, so next up, discussion, hour by hour healing rules. I think this was specifically in regards to true healing.
Yep.
Yep.
I know it's not a popular idea, but yeah, we need to limit it.
Yeah, well, the reason that when I wrote it down, it was hour by hour, is because I had suggested that we make it the same as things like damaging conditions, like persistent conditions outside of combat, where they all proc once per hour. So, like, you know, every hour you get to make a true healing roll with whatever true healing thing you want to use. Per true heal, I guess I should say. So that way, if you have multiple moves that do it and you're just doctoring it the fuck up, you get to roll multiple, but... Even just hour by hour, having someone be able to use a true heal is pretty strong.
It really is.
Especially because you could just ask, hey, while we were traveling, how many hours did it take? And you hear like, oh, it took 4 hours. And it's like, okay, cool, I'm just going to roll this 4 times. And then all of a sudden you're dumping like 50 dice onto the table, just being like, all right, cool, this is how much we heal, guys.
Yeah, at the same token, though, for the argument of why we were trying to limit it, if you're in a dungeon, you can't just full heal after a combat and go into the next combat. It does at least restrict that. Because if you reasonably think about how much time any group spends in a dungeon, it's usually not hours.
Yeah.
And usually when it is
also,
hours, it's because they're actually resting.
yeah, the only thing that I really want to not encourage is... Y'all ever played COD Zombies?
Nope.
Yes.
Hey Zim, people are gonna do the same damn thing of getting really mad if you kill the end of round crawler. They're just going to kneecap one enemy so the combat stays, and then everyone is like, all right, cool, time for the end of combat heal session, everyone gather up, we're going to full HP before we kill the last combatant.
I mean, at that point, that's the ST.
Yeah,
I handle that.
like I said, we'll put in wording that is like, yeah, you can't just extend the combat for the sake of true healing. The ST is more than able and allowed to just say you cannot do it anymore.
The technically you are no longer a in danger rule. If you are no longer in danger, the combat is technically over.
Yep. Besides, I think there is actual precedent. I'm gonna double check a wording on a single feat. Because I'm pretty sure we already damn well have this, and I just want to double check. As now I'm scrolling around to be like, all right, what the hell was this called? Even though I have it on a sheet. I don't know why.
Well,
Right now I'm just not good at remembering names of this stuff.
that's fine. I'm writing the notes up anyways.
There it is, unbroken. Yeah, outside of combat, you regenerate 1 HP per hour. This is true healing. We already have it as part of
Right.
something.
If you would have... I literally have that as a feat on one of my characters, too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we already have things that say it does this in combat, and it does the same thing, but just once per hour outside of combat.
So there we go.
Fair. Alright, so I did also make a note that healing over time effects simply add extra dice equal to 1 round of them outside of combat.
Yeah, that's fair.
That works.
Make a note that this begins applying once the ST determines you are no longer in danger, so no disabling the boss and trying to say you are still in combat.
Look, we've only used up all of his resources and then proceeded to put 3 restrained on him. He's still right there. He could cleanse. He could get out of it, technically.
So the other side of this, as was brought up when we brought this up in the first place, the XP cost for true healing is currently 50.
Yep.
Do we want to adjust that? I'm not sure I want to adjust it much if we do. Because it is still very powerful.
Yeah, its main use is still when it comes to out of combat stuff. But it's still really good out of combat. Even with this. I definitely wouldn't want to adjust it much. Maybe at most knocking it down to like 40.
That's what I was leaning
still
towards.
Be prohibitive. Yeah, it should still really be prohibitively expensive.
One moment.
1,000. Well, I don't know how many seconds a moment is, so never mind.
A moment is 90 seconds, by the way.
Oh. Well.
Well, I was going to say we should make it 38, but unfortunately that wouldn't really work with our multiple of 3 or 5.
Why 38?
Why?
That way they can at least get 2 more heal powers in. But they can still get 1 more if we knock it down to 40. So, yeah, let's just knock it to 40, I'd say.
What are you talking about? They can get 3. Each heal power is 6. If it's 40, they have 20 XP left over.
Well, I mean, from the 50.
Oh.
Yeah. But you are right, like, the move cap, they still have plenty of room for more heal power beyond that, but yes. Anyways.
Actually, granted, considering the restriction, they'd actually have plenty, considering that standard action, when they can get it, is like 90.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll knock it to 40. And I'm just going to apply that right now, since that is a quick and easy change to make on the document. Well, easy is relative.
Yeah.
Considering that clicking on that tiny box has half of it, or more than half of it, consumed by the click to select borders button. Blech.
So true.
Okay.
And yet, it somehow could be worse.
So true again.
Okay, so
let's see. What to discuss next? Well, this was one that I kind of started suggesting in here, but didn't get very far, and people have been bringing it up. Feats regarding the senses. The only one that I can really think of is scent, which I think would allow you to identify individuals automatically when they enter a certain range, provided you're familiar with their scent at that point. And I'd probably put in a note of may also offer other benefits pending storyteller approval. But I also want to do it for other things that, the other four senses.
All right, so here's the thing about this. I know that people keep bringing up feats regarding the senses, but I also don't know how... It really feels like that's more of a specialty thing than a feat thing. Like, overall, for, like, full coverage of things. I know for, like, putting in things for scent tracking, like, I guess that would make sense for feat level stuff, but a lot of the other, like, sense-related things really feel more like specialty stuff.
That's
or
fair.
Because you have a specialty, you get, valid narrative bonuses just when trying to use it if it's accepted.
yeah, and it would be hard to come up with ones for the other senses that are as specific as scent tends to be.
Yeah, like dark vision would already count for the sight stuff.
Yeah, it's also a tree.
Yeah. There's the tremor sense stuff, but also like that's kind of unique enough that like it's like, okay, yeah. For a lot of these, I would say, like, obviously having it would give you a bonus in valid circumstances, but that still really feels more like it's specialty. Because, like, I feel like if I was playing someone that could scent track, I'd rather just have, like, valid specialties that I'm repeating a couple times instead of it being a feat that just lets me take a special action. Because if I was... Like, they'd have to make a check anyway, right?
Yes.
So it's like, they'd have to make the check. So at that point, I'd rather just keep it to it being a specialty. And then they get to make the check, but with more dice.
Well,
Unless we do what we've been doing with feats and make it linked to something that scales. Then there is a possibility of higher dice, but then we'd have to link it.
Well, at least in the case of the scent feat, The idea that I had was specifically that you could automatically just know that somebody has entered, like 30 feet or something, short range, provided you're familiar with their scent. Or rather, identify them if you're familiar, but you just know. But yeah, we can leave that as just a specialty thing.
Also, that opens up a whole lot of can of worms.
Yeah, it is kind of why we did away with the tremor sense as well. Or not did away with it, but adjusted it a lot.
Yeah. Because it's also just like... That's one of the things where I also, like, I don't want auto-detect, auto-identification stuff as much, because then that's also like, okay, then what's the point of stealth? Everyone just hangs around one person that has the scent feat and is just like, all right, cool, I auto-detect. Something's around. You know, it's like... that kind of starts getting into cancerous game design that I don't like.
All right, so that is a no-go. Proper rules for attacking body parts instead of full HP. Do we want to discuss that now or keep it shelved?
The targeting rules.
Yeah.
We have soft targeting rules. And we already have those, and they give you a bonus of more accuracy or power on the attack if you do so before, actually rolling the attack, and you get your creative solutions bonus. And
Well,
go on.
this is specifically in the terms of fighting something significantly larger than you. Case in point, Monster Hunter, where, you can specifically target the tail and chop it off, thus removing, their ability to attack with that. Things along those lines. This would not be It came up from a couple of sources, Monster Hunter as well as Fallout with the VAT system. But in general, it's just I think it would just be if they are, significantly larger than you, then you would probably need to go this route instead of just attacking their HP as a whole.
That's going to be very complex.
It would be. It would basically be reserved for storytellers to use as a, like you guys fighting Borzilla. Gotta do so much damage to the limbs and whatnot, as opposed to just, okay, let's just smash his HP down.
I mean, I get it, but it's also like at this point, I feel like that's more on the ST to like just make a sheet for the various body part sections that they want the boss to have.
Well, yes, but we can still put in, that as a rule. Tabletop tabletop systems, their rule books are all about having that kind of fluff that just is in there.
I mean, if we want to make that be the entry, like, I don't mind, but yeah, I'm kind of the opinion that at that point you just make a character sheet for each limb, so that way you can also attach specific attacks to different limbs that they can disable. If you're fighting a dragon and it's doing like, an annoying tail attack, cut off the tail to basically like, use an example for because, by God, the amount of annoying dragon tail attacks in things like Dark Souls.
I feel called out. I think it would be something that'd be a little on the difficult side to codify.
Well, that's why I said if they just make their own, if they just make each part have its own character sheet. Then,
yeah, I think that's a great suggestion, personally.
That way they could also apply hit stun locally.
We're just going to have the, STs make Exodia.
Oh, I didn't know you guys were planning a Yu-Gi-Oh game.
Well, yeah, but we're doing like Duelist Kingdom kind of Yu-Gi-Oh, you know.
That is more than I have knowledge base on.
I would not be opposed to that, but probably only like a single season of it.
So just so you know, Duelist Kingdom is like the season 1 Yu-Gi-Oh rules, where it was all make shit up on the fly, and if it makes sense, it flies. Where like you could just summon things of any level, and you're like, but you've killed enough of my dinosaurs to make it a dinosaur graveyard, giving me power-ups.
I see.
It's the first season when they're doing the Pegasus stuff.
I think that would be a hell of a lot of fun. It's just one that I would not want to do for, a long-term campaign. But I don't think that we should do it as only a short shot. So like I said, one season.
I feel bad for whoever STs that.
Furry just says, I use Pot of Greed amp stacks.
I mean, from the sounds of it, Tal's already got an idea.
Oh, I'm just laughing at it, you know.
It sounds like a game where we just it's whose line is it anyways, but the tabletop experience.
Yep.
Just make crap up.
And the points
Someone
don't
plays
matter.
an Endymion deck and just yells Molon Labe constantly. I mean, Duelist Kingdom was funny as hell, but it also has like horrible rules. The rules are so bad. Someone makes a Fury attack. Draw monster card. All right, I'm done memeing about it. Anyways, yeah, individual sheets.
Alright, so there's that taken care of.
If I do end up being in charge of that, I'm going to make the final boss use a for hire deck, by the way. In case you don't know, for hires is the literal furry archetype.
Oh, fair.
Yeah. They all have joke names. Because they're mercenaries, and their archetype is for hire.
Oh.
And they're all pirates and mercenaries.
Oh.
Training for hire, for all your training needs, with fur being spelt F-U-R both times.
If anybody needs me, I'll be in my corner far away from Yu-Gi-Oh! That show always disturbed me anyways.
Well, I will be right back.
I made Mala upset, so this was all worth it. Actual unironic statement, though, is using God's anger for a boss fight would slap.
Yeah, that's a game I think I'm gonna just skip. This says those are card names I have no ideas about.
That's
I'd be
fair.
the guy that comes with a magic deck.
Look, all I'm gonna say is that if you wanna play some Paradox of Billiards of Asteroid Roulette fourth dimensional cube chess strip poker, you know. That is one of the available joke names for Yu-Gi-Oh, by the way.
Yes, I'm familiar with that one. I've heard it several times.
Probably mostly from me,
Primarily, yes.
but not solely, apparently.
Alright, I am back.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put that fact I actually looked that up and it's very real into the box of things I don't think about anymore. Moving on.
I just remembered that they basically had an RPG arc, so it also could just do that. Anyways.
So here's one that was not added by me.
I added a couple near the very recently.
Yeah, the SR target numbers.
Yeah, that one, because some people complained to me about how some things work, and I'm just like, well, cool, might as well bring it up. So you know how currently SR target numbers is just based on how difficult the roll should be versus how many, like, as a percentage of how many dice they have?
Wait, what?
Like, in the storyteller section. The way that you base the target success rating that they need in order to pass a check.
Yeah.
There were a couple people that, like, over time have, like, complained to me about it, and I'm just like, the entire time I'm just like, yeah, but we don't got a better way to do it right now. But when we were discussing injury rules, like healing injuries, I realized that maybe that is a far better way of handling that. Where if instead of it just being based on the total pool, because the thing about it just being based on the pool and then it being a percentage of the pool is it turns it into pure luck, with also you wanting a smaller dice pool so that way you have more variance. Because the larger your dice pool gets, the more consistent you are. But the more consistent you are, the harder it is to hit the harder checks. So right now, it kind of is sort of disincentivizing a couple things if people are trying to, like, actually mathematically get the best success chances on everything possible as a party. So what if instead we have it work like the injury SR heal requirements, where it's multipliers and based off of your attribute scale?
That
Go ahead, Era.
No, I was gonna say that that sounds better. I still want to posit we might want to create some sort of chart or something at some point in time to give STs some level of direction with things like knowledge checks, because there comes a certain point where there's knowledge that a player shouldn't easily get, and some things that should be easily gotten. If that makes sense. So I don't know if we want to math equation that or if we want to just stick with a via attribute and imply the other part.
Well, I mean, currently the way it works is whether it's based on the average number of dice that they can roll. I've not really been exactly following that myself. It's been more, honestly, vibes.
Yeah, but occasionally it does get brought up, and and it has been done like that, and every time that it has, it's been wildly unpopular. So I've been trying to think about ways to do it, and then I realized when we did the
Wait, are you meaning like
injury heal.
how it actually is supposed to work in here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
like
thought
how it's
you-
listed.
I
I was saying how it's listed right now.
you said that you said that right after I said what I did about going by vibes, and I'm like, wait, what? People have a problem with that?
Not the vibes one, but with whatever it is actually used like it's listed in the book and how we're supposed to use it. There are generally mild complaints afterwards. So I've been trying to find a good thing to do, and I realized that when we did the injury heal SR stuff, oh hey, yeah, that would work, at least as a base to like work off of and make an offshoot of.
Nobody was complaining about your vibe coding, Zim. They were complaining
no
about
one's
the base
complaining
rule
about
set.
the vibe. They're complaining about actually reading what it says we should be doing and being like, hey, wait a second.
Oh. But yeah, I'm fine with basically rewriting that to match. That makes at least a ton more sense than what we currently have.
Yeah, because even if we just have it be easy as a 1 times, moderate's a 2, average is a 3, difficult a 4, challenging is 5, something like that, times your attribute scale. It's literally just like, okay, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I like that. Very simple,
that way,
very straightforward, and much easier to come up with.
Yeah, and if it's, and obviously like based on what you're using, like the storyteller will then be able to adjust that base number a bit.
Yeah.
Where like, maybe it's supposed to be a 6, but you're using a pretty valid thing, or they like how you described it, so they're just gonna knock that down to like a 5 or a 4. But it will also give players a good sort of like overview about like where the vibes need to be at for like how difficult they think what they're trying is. But also, it starts getting to be like, oh hey, you're a tier 3 character and you want to do something that's legitimately you maybe shouldn't even be trying to. Cool, get 15 successes. Which, it might be ironic for me saying that, but I'm saying for, like, actual normal players.
So
I think we're at least agreed on that one. So?
I'm just thinking through this. So easy would be 1 times attribute scale, and then 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yep.
It would definitely mean that challenging would be incredibly difficult to achieve.
Yeah, but it's kind of supposed to be.
Yeah.
I hate to put it out there, we could do decimals.
No. Absolutely not.
0.5 for common sense, 1 for easy, 1.5 for...
Absolutely not. They're going to complain about that more.
Also, this does mean that, like, for something being challenging, when you're a tier 2 character, something being challenging before any sort of modifiers that you get for description or anything like that, or using, a relevant expertise, would be 10. I think that that's a pretty reasonable number for challenging for a tier 2 character.
But the moment you... Go ahead.
My main concern is like if they get to tier 5 or 6. That's where my concern is. Because at that point, for challenging, like, you're gonna need to have, you know, specialties and all of that to even hope to achieve it, at least on your own.
Well, yeah, but that's also... That is getting into late game. Like, tier 5 to 6 is when you become, like, a more late game character.
So maybe just including a note that you should consider how hard something should be based on level to a certain degree as well, so that way something that was challenging at tier 1 is not necessarily challenging to a tier 5.
Well, yeah,
Well,
that's
because
of
obviously
course
this is
in
going to
there,
be
but...
towards... Yeah. Because it's also, like, you know, by the time that you're a tier 5 character, you are probably wanting to have a lot of specialties that have been repeated and multiple that are even, like, mastered. And you should have, like, at least one maxed out attribute. You should probably have a maxed out expertise. You know, the skill should be maxed out, so that's 20 dice right there. Start tacking on specialties and potentially even mastered specialties. You start getting to 25 to 30 dice by yourself pretty quickly. And then there's also the fact that people can come in and assist you with, like, a decent amount of teamwork, potentially even 5 teamwork at that point, really. And someone else being good at that skill and potentially having some specialties, and, you know, all of a sudden then you're rolling like 40 dice.
Yeah, thinking on this more, yeah, this works. I don't think an upper cap is the way to go, Vari, but Towel is making a very good point here.
Yeah, and if we want to, we could also just put in a note. Just going, instead of scaling it to the characters, you could also try and rate it on what sort of, like, character tier should be doing this. Instead of it just being based off of the character's tier itself. But
What
that's
tier is
sort
the
of...
problem and how hard would it be?
Yeah. So, like, that could be an alternate way of determining it. Which might especially be useful if it's like... Because there'll be scenarios where, like, let's say you're at 13 attribute points and someone gets a growth stage. Well, that person's a tier 3 character now. And then the rest of the party is like a tier 2 character. So they might want it to be a tier 2 problem. But that's also where messing with the difficulty stage thing between the easy and challenging goes in. But, you know, we might just want to put in a note saying that, you know, you might want to base it off of what character tier should be dealing with this rather than the character tier itself of the person attempting it.
By the way, a quick reminder to everybody, Conrad is needing some help with food. If you guys can help, we've got the tip goal set up. It would be a hugely appreciated if you guys can help. Everything helps, so yeah. But yeah, I think I'm good with that.
Yeah. Also, Vari, yeah, you start kind of getting to the pinnacle of singular attributes tier 3, tier 4. Definitely more tier 4 if you're doing a reasonable build, but you could definitely get it really quickly if you're just hardlining. But yeah, that's where this is really where specialties and stuff come in terms of, like, the game design and everything. Like, you are intended to have a lot of specialties and do your best to try and master the specialties you have.
Yeah, and even at, like, once you start getting to tier 4, like Tal was saying, you should have a whole bunch of specialties to work with just from the free merit ones. Like, it does not take much at all to get a bunch of them from just that.
Yeah. Starts going pretty quick.
But
yeah, I will definitely admit that the attribute scaling obviously peaks out because you max out.
yeah, but if you're attempting something that's challenging for you at tier 5, I mean, you're talking about something that's probably dealing with a deity or such. And at that point, yeah, you really should have help anyways. You should be assisting each other with that. And one thing's for sure, assisting is one thing that we have definitely not seen a lack of. People are very eager to assist each other in the system, and I am so happy to see it.
Yeah. And to the point where sometimes when playing other systems, our players are complaining about how assist works in the other systems.
I know, right?
It's like, but I want to actually be helpful when helping, not just like give a pity point.
Here, have a +2 on top of your +30 modifier.
Also, I just wanted to double check something, and I'm just like, yeah, this is a pretty reasonable scaling amount considering that I just double checked 3.5's like difficulty class chart, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot they charted out to the point where it starts getting into 40.
Yep. Anything above what is it, 50 is you're at god level, boy. I think it's 50.
I think it's 50. I think 50 is god related stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, 50 is when you hit official epic level nonsense, which I've had characters in my games do. So.
Yep. I mean, hell, at one point I managed to finagle getting a +126 modifier to one particular thing. But that's also because 3.5 is ridiculous.
It's such a shame what they're doing to D&D now.
I know, right? Oh well.
I mean, nothing lasts forever. Sometimes it's just good for things to die.
I mean, have you heard about the most recent nonsense?
Oh, I stopped paying attention to Wizards of the Coast entirely. Why? What's going on now?
Oh, they're making it a live service.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, okay.
So now they are moving it, or trying to move it to, you have to pay for. No, this is 5e Guru. Like, yeah, they can't take away your books, but man, I'm sure they wish they could. But yeah, they're making it where now you need to have a subscription to their, D&D Beyond or whatever the hell they call it now. I think they're changing the name of it too. But you're going to need to have a subscription. And then you can buy chapters of books to get access to them. But you only have access to them while you're paying the subscription.
Yeah, that's Wizards of the Coast. I'm not surprised. Sooner or later, they're going to start finding ways to charge you just to own Magic cards.
Look, all I'm going to say is, like, I never thought that I'd see, like, a company in this sort of market just trying to act like O'Hare Air.
Well, it's also technically not Wizards of the Coast. I'm pretty sure we can put this all on the parent company.
That's
whom
right.
Literally has nothing else going for it anymore. So they're milking the cash cow as they die.
To be fair, at least they're not the current fastest dying company.
Do I want to know which one that is?
A certain Lego reseller.
Ah, yes, bricks and
Yep.
minifigs. Good God.
Speed run world record. Holy shit.
You gotta. There's. Every time I hear that story, it's just like watching. And they got the most
It gets
weird
worse.
freaking YouTuber, like, chasing this guy down. And they're just feeding it.
It keeps getting worse every time.
A stray cat walked into
Literally.
the lawn, and everybody's feeding it in that company. And they're like, why won't this cat go away? Because you're doing literally everything he wants you to do.
Yeah, it's just like...
Like, the YouTuber's just being a crazy guy, and it's like, okay, that whatever, but you're feeding him, and which is bringing attention to you guys, which is shooting yourselves in the foot at the same time. I mean,
It's like,
man,
just
I wouldn't want to be
fucking,
anybody in that company.
Just fucking give the customer their stuff back.
Well, the actual argument here is there's a dispute about how much of it actually got sold during the consignment already, and then they tried to backtrack that there was a consignment in the first place. So, like, legally, they're saying, oh, we never consigned it, but also, when we took over the store as a good faith buyer, as the franchisee had defaulted, we took on everything as a good faith buyer. Quietly shoving all of the posts that they themselves made as a corporation, behind the couch about how they were selling this guy's stuff and were like advertising it publicly. And they're trying to say that there was about five
collection and everything.
Yeah, and they're trying to say that there was $5,000 worth of the collection left when they took over the store, and they were offering that back and that alone. The family is saying, no, like, over half of the collection was left over, and we have picture proof. And then, like, well, all this is going on, and this is, like, a legitimate legal battle, but one that the corporation is gonna fucking lose, because they're literally just legally in the wrong there. They kind of shot themselves in the foot by publicly advertising it a few years ago. What's gonna happen is, all that is basically just going to proceed as normal. It's normal drama level shit. And then you start getting to the Utah police.
Oh,
and
God.
Then it gets crazy.
Man, that whole... The worst part about it is that if the guy accepts the piece of paper, the YouTuber has to fuck off.
Yeah.
The worst part about that whole situation is that if the man accepts the piece of paper, which he legally has to accept anyways, he goes away.
Yeah, which also, I'm pretty sure the guy broke the law because the police officer, not the YouTuber, like the actual guy.
Yeah.
The guy broke the law because the police officer at one point was like, oh, are these court served document papers? And the YouTuber was like, yeah, it is. I'm just trying to give these guy because I have to physically give it to him. Here's the person that I brought with me to act as, like, a notarizer and everything. And then he's like, cool, you mind if I give these to the guy? And then, the YouTuber agrees. Police officer goes, gives it to the guy, and the guy goes, I don't want them. And the police officer, who is an officer of the court of law, showed the guy the fucking papers. The guy said, I don't want them, and the police officer just took them back and handed them back. But that should count legally, and under many circumstances, that legally counts as being served the papers. Actually, he has now technically been served.
I believe that is something that only a sheriff can take care of, rather than a police officer.
It depends on the county.
They usually use police officers for it, but maybe they have to specifically deputize them in order to do that.
Yeah, basically.
One way or the other, somebody from the law handed it to the guy. He said, I don't want it. And the officer was not supposed to also take it back. By the way, it has to enter their hands and you walk away. That's the way it's supposed to work.
Well, yeah, but also when it comes to the court thing, there also needs to be a notarization that the guy like received it technically.
I guess that might be state pending. Here in Minnesota, you don't, actually. You just need to make sure it ended up in the person's hands. That's it.
A couple of the well, you have to sign off that you like have handed it to the guy.
Yeah. But still, that whole situation's just...
That's a death speed run right there for corporate.
It's just take the piece of paper, just take it, and none of that would have happened. There's video of that guy pulling a gun on them, too.
True. That was also a wild part of it.
Just
now,
the
when you're
dumbest
saying
shit.
that guy, because I've been hearing a little bit of it, but I haven't looked into it much.
The CEO.
Okay, the
Yeah,
CEO. Okay.
Mhm. And yeah.
He's also on record saying that if that guy comes back again, the guy trying to legally serve him court papers, telling the cops that he was going to shoot someone if they tried doing that again. And then, on top of that, the police then proceeded to arrest the guy that was threatening to, like, not threatening to shoot, the guy that was being threatened.
Oh, it gets
He
even
was still
better.
being a bit of a nuisance, but he was being a legal nuisance.
Did you hear about the part where they raided the Airbnb for drugs and then raided again for stolen Legos?
Well, no, they pulled him over
And
for
found nothing?
drugs. They pulled him over for the drugs and raided the car for drugs by saying that a drug dog got a hit on it, and then pulled apart the car and then went, "Whoops, no drugs. All right, on your way." They then later got a search warrant for the Legos that were under dispute, stating that the Airbnb owner overheard them talking about possible stolen Legos, not saying that they had the stolen Legos in possession, just that they were talking about stolen Legos, which of course they were. The entire thing they were working on right now was on the stolen Lego case. They then proceeded to use that as a search warrant to then show up and immediately, before even enacting the search warrant properly, arresting basically everyone, especially arresting the YouTuber, and then proceeding to haul him off and arrest him immediately, and dislocate his arm along the way, saying that he was trying to run when he's on body camera standing perfectly still. So now they also filled out a literal false due process paperwork thing, leaving out multiple facts of the case that the police officers literally know, such as he had like a legal reason to be doing that, because they're trying to get him on like stalking charges or whatever for him trying to give over like process paperwork that he legally has to give it to him.
I
So
know.
then multiple times.
It's a mess, and it's just like, oh my god, they're so fucked.
I know I watch a lot of Lego channels on YouTube, and up until all of this, most of them, would bring up bricks and minifigs often. It's like, oh yeah, I went over there to get this, and this. It was great. Now not a single word is being mentioned of it, period.
Oh yeah, they used to be like the most. They were like the trusted. They were the industry standard for the brick reselling and all that. Like if you weren't buying it directly from Lego, like they were like the number one. They were it.
Mala, this isn't British law. In the United States, the person doing the lawsuit, if they're representing themselves, has to hand it over, which means that he does if he's doing a self-representation, which he is.
They can also.
Small claims.
I'm pretty sure they can also pay for a sheriff to deliver it, but
he did actually have a process server with him in the car at one point while waiting to try and get the guy and serve him the papers. He literally had a process server. He hired one. They still didn't let him do it. Not the process server, the police. Which is why I'm saying, oh, they're so fucked. Like, he even had, like, process server stuff going on.
Yeah, if they resist too long, then the judge is just going to be like, yep, you're in contempt now.
Well, that's one thing. Yeah. Well, there's a thing is there's a difference between been with her, as in like he was waiting in a car, like like a little bit down the road, just with her with the paperwork. There's a difference between that and showing up on the guy's doorstep with her, which he did not.
One
But
way or the other,
that is an important difference.
it's just a mess.
Yeah. Complete
Yeah.
and total disaster. That's the current speedrunner for destroying everything over nothing.
The worst part is no, not the worst part. It's literally a dying man's Lego connection that he needs for medicine,
Yeah.
which tops it all off. It's just the nice little bow that, yeah, this guy is only doing this because he needed money for medication. And medical services. Way to look trashy, man.
But anyways, next up here are dot effects based on time of application or on standard type interaction for cases like charges. I definitely think it should be based on standard. Because keeping track of, oh, this dot was applied as part of a charge gets messy.
Well, isn't that the same reason why we keep typing out of the dots as well? Because it gets too
Dots have
messy.
typing.
Do they? I thought
Yes.
they
Yeah,
didn't.
dots have typing. Yeah.
Oh.
They do have
Yeah,
typing.
that's why yeah. I will say in the most recent like character sheet thing that I have, I do actually have like an overtime / per turn effect box that includes dot status for an entry for every difficulty of dot. So it won't be too difficult keeping track of that, at least on the defensive.
That means I've been giving up damage and or making my life easier. Good to know for future.
But besides that, I mean, there's good arguments for both ways, I think.
I very much say that it should be a just typing, just standard, no other modifiers on it.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely get behind that. It's just more like I thought that it was on time of application, and if it's not, that's fine. That's how I've been like testing it. It's worthwhile anyway, so like, you know, who cares?
A generous bestowal.
Things tipped $10, Razim coins.
Ido, thank you so much for that tip. Thank you for helping Conrad out. Yeah, he needs food, so if you guys can help, please do so. Alright, got that noted. Multi-attack action cost review.
That was due to the slight confusion over whether or not multi-attacks were two standard actions, like they've been listed as for a while, or if we wanted them to be full action.
Yeah, because with it being two standard actions, it allows you to use a quick action with it.
I forget during which game, but during one of the games there was a discussion about this, and I got told to
Yeah.
put it on the thing. So here it is.
Yeah, I'm remembering now. Hmm.
I mean, I'm definitely in favor of keeping it where it is. That's because I like letting people keep a quick action when doing a multi-attack.
Myself as well. It makes full attackers more dynamic and fixes a problem a lot of games have where when you commit to a full attack, that's all you do. And then people that typically play the fighter archetype go in, do a full attack, and then turn over.
To be fair, there is a difference between a full attack and that in this system.
Yes. But still, I personally want to leave it because it gives more dynamic options. My point still exists. Kind of.
Uh... What are we doing for meld again? Let me look at that. So meld is basically 2 standard actions or a standard and quick as well.
Yeah.
Yep. I think combo takes both standard actions, if I'm not mistaken, or a standard action plus relevant action.
Hmm. Well, as far as this goes, I think we will leave it as is. I am thinking that we may adjust combo where it is not both standard actions, though you can only be preparing to participate in one. You can only participate in one combo per round.
Yeah.
Is how I think
That's
we'll
fair.
adjust it. So that way you still have your other standard action and quick action available to you.
Okay. Might encourage more combos because I don't think they get too heavily used right now.
No, they don't.
Nope.
But yeah, I think we'll go with that. We'll remove the extra standard action requirement from combo, but otherwise leave these as is.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, next up, review magic range bands, match range costs. This is not listed in spells.
I don't know who added that one.
Well, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me. Because it is in rain or in spells. I don't know what this means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I did not add that. So, must have been added by either Key or Raijin. I'm thinking this was
currently
added
looking
by
to see when
Key.
It might have been added by Key.
Because I don't think Raijin would have added it.
I don't know because the range bands costs do match experience.
Merle, you tried to use one what?
I double checked. This was U era, but it was like 2 months ago.
I don't remember typing that.
I just double checked the history. It's in your color.
Oh wait, you're saying you tried to use the a combo with the that was a specific fight thing though.
Yeah, I have no idea why I wrote that on there. That might have been something somebody said during a game and I just typed it out or something quickly and then moved on. I just delete it. If it was me, delete it.
Yeah, just get rid of it.
It might have been a note that ended up in the wrong place too, because I keep these notes up during games to double check things in the back rules to see if anything's changing all the time. So maybe I meant to put in a notepad or something to double check a ruling. I don't know.
Well, maybe we should go ahead and take a quick look at the magic stuff and make sure that we've got them as the same price.
They're not like exactly the same price, but they're like literally as close as we can get it using the magic rules. I think buying long range, level 1 long range of this is 19 XP, I think. This is 3 times.
Hold on, I made a calculator for myself. Let me look here.
Yeah, it'd be 19 XP for long range. For medium range, it's 16 XP, and for short range, it's 13.
And I think we did specifically have it set up where the ranges were different than the standard across the system. Though, do we want to just bring that in line? Have them, break?
No, we already did that. We originally had it work differently, and then we just made it work the same.
Well,
see, it just says grants a spell short range. There's no scaling on it like with the other ones. We already did that.
Yeah.
Well, right now by this, they say that it's short range would be 11, medium would be 12, and long range would be 13.
That's not experience cost. Moat cost would be 1, 2, and 3, but didn't we have it written out? Yeah.
Yeah, experience cost for it is 10 plus 3 times moat cost.
Yeah,
Was
so
it
it's
3 times
13
moat cost?
Yeah, 3 times moat cost. Yeah, so it's 13, 16, 19.
Yep. So you can get long range for 19 experience total.
Yeah. It's just if you want to have... Yeah. If we want to make it like scaling, then we could change it to try and do that, but it's cheaper to get long range on this. It's just that, you're paying for long range every time if you're using it, which means you have to pay the moat cost for long range every single time.
Fair. But that might be what was being said with this era. Because, yeah, it is not the same as the XP cost. The XP cost to pick it up is not the same as it is for moves and weapons and literally everything else. Because we have had that be we have had very standard costs for ranges across all. Short range is 10, medium is 15, long is 20. And that's the case in the primeval feature, or paths as we're renaming them to. Move traits, weapon traits, everything.
Yep.
Yeah, that might have been it then. I don't remember.
But with that in mind, yeah, I would say let's just go ahead and make them standard, because actually it would cost more overall for you to pick up the ranges with magic. Yeah, long range is slightly cheaper at only 19 versus 20, but the other two are more expensive.
Well, yeah, but keep in mind that they don't have each other as prerequisites with this.
Well, I'd say they should.
Because yeah, if they require each other as prerequisites, then yeah, that's different.
Let's make them require each other as prerequisites, because otherwise there's literally no point in ever picking up short range. Aside from it being slightly cheaper on mode cost. Because literally the otherwise you're just, why bother picking them up?
Mostly for flexibility, and because you can stack words. So if you put short range on something, like let's say you have one mote available and you want it to reach slightly further, you could extend the range technically. But that's kind of like a side thing. There are like niche things where that would be a good thing, but yeah, that's fine. I can just like in the expend thing.
Yeah, just make it specify that the XP cost is just flat 10, 15, and then 20, and they require the prior one. Because that way it'll also keep it more in line with everything else and avoid us possibly running into people being like, well, how come they can get the long range so much easier than I can? Which you know
Magic,
will happen.
fuck off. That would be my response. Literally, it's literally magic. That's why.
I still.
I'm only putting it on the expend version of them because the expend version is where all of the costs are derived, specifically. So.
Yeah, that's fine.
Bada bing.
Okay. Hold on, my cat's meowing at me for some reason. 1 second. I don't know what he wants. I went to stand up and he moved to another part of the room and meowed at me. So I went over there and then he moved to another part of the room and meowed at me.
Cats.
Clearly, he wants you to follow him.
Up around my office? In a circle?
It's a quest.
Well, now he's playing at the Q-tip that I have no idea where he got it from, so I think that journey's over.
Well, yeah, you canceled the quest, so he went back to his default action. You could have possibly had great rewards at the end of that. Or at least a little bit of XP, like, come on.
I'm a god. I think I'm okay.
Puny god.
Excuse me, princess?
I should probably get out of the history mode so I can see what's actually being done here. Probably help.
2 months is too long of a time, man. And too short of a time. How is it both at the same time?
I know, right?
Thundering outside. You hear that, Zim?
Not here. But
Oh,
yay.
weird.
I'm gonna be honest, I think my brain is just too fried to continue here.
We're almost at time anyways. Oh, we're about to get hit with a big one. Red zone. We're about to really get hit.
Yay!
Well, if we're about to end, it is something that doesn't require putting much thought into it. Because
Did he go robot
robot?
for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Testing.
Now you're fine.
Okay. Strange. Thank you, Discord. Very cool, I guess.
You are currently Dr. Grayson, so maybe it thought you needed some, assistance.
Yeah, I know,
But
right?
you were saying since we're ending and we got something, you got something.
Yeah, I was gonna go and ask you to vibe check things like the basically the same thing that I asked last time of just vibe check of character sheet stuff ? Because I've gotten like no responses or replies about it from community, so I've just kind of started doing things and yeah, specifically just
link me again.
yeah, it should just be in the dev chat.
It is still
thing.
in the
Just
dev chat.
Yeah, I see it there. Okay. Yeah, I can do another round of it, but it'd be nice to have somebody else say something other than the devs people.
Yep. Specifically, I'm mostly looking at the combat sheet, which I've just started filling with shit.
Yeah, I'll go and do it again, I guess. I still needed you to vibe check what I have in light at some point.
Yeah. Specifically this time, it's just about if we want all of this shit at the top of it, because I just started filling it with stuff, because why not? And then the current updated ability slot stuff.
Yeah, I'll look at it probably this week and remind me before game on Saturday if you could, and if I don't get back to you before then.
Yeah, cool. The one cool thing that I added is being able to select from a chip drop down of all the different types in order to select all of the different types and or subtypes. Aside from stuff like pure or corrupt or mortal, because the fucking at that point just write it yourself.
Yeah, that part I already saw. I had passed off on, so.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, even if it's just yelling at people to do call to action things, then that works. I just want something.
Yeah, I threw another reminder in there.
I can keep tooling around with this and just coming up with shit to do by myself, but like I'm kind of just doing shit at this point.
I know I've been looking at it, I just don't want to be the only one.
Yep.
Please. Intel always messages me when I'm in a meeting of, hey, look at this, and I'm like, fuck.
You could just tell me later.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I have said later and
Yeah.
followed up. But I just think it's funny that every single time you send me a screenshot, I am actually in a meeting. And I'm just like, what the?
Aren't you like always in a meeting though?
Between like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., pretty much. Yeah, nowadays.
Yeah, so if I'm messaging
Except
you
for
during
today.
the day.
Today I was only in 2 meetings.
Oh, nice. So the day that I was getting dental work done is the day you were actually available. Got it.
Yeah, I actually got work done today. Wasn't in 30 freaking meetings. I even told that my boss, we got in our 101, which was one of my 2 meetings, three meetings. One of the 3 meetings, she was like, oh, so how are you doing now that all the really crazy stuff's over? I was like, I actually got work done today for the first time since, I don't know, a month ago. So I'm happy. Can we just make me not do a bunch of random stuff all the time like this, please? Thanks.
Well, anyways. I think we got some good work done today.
Yep.
So, thank you everybody for joining us today for this DevTales session, as well as a Marten stream. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. They're on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to help out the channel, though you can also do so by grabbing merch at zgfgaming.store, picking up packs of cards to stream loots, tipping to the channel directly, or just coming by and hanging out. But for now, thank you so much for joining, everyone, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Bye-bye.
Bye.